What you were saying.
Okay, so it's a group of white people that does great things for the community.
Right.
They got involved. They came up here with no public funding and got involved in all kinds of schools.
Yeah.
And just were really, really active and dedicated to like getting kids to ride bikes and providing free bikes and taking donations of bikes to give the children. And, you know,
Yeah.
they have a really good space here, teaching kids how to ride bikes for free and all that shit.
Sure.
And then they named themselves a Spanish word because it made them feel good to be multi-ethnic, even though it's just white people doing shit for white
Spanish
people.
is a European language, first of all.
Well,
They don't know that
yes,
because they're dumb.
that's not what they're thinking.
Right,
They're not like,
exactly.
Oh, we're from España. No, they're like,
Nah.
boy, I'll bet all the Mexicans will really like us if we name ourselves Norte. And it's just fucking pathetic.
It's retarded.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a...
I mean, I don't think they should be like Aryan child bike pride fucking, you know, but...
Just call it North.
Yes. Or, you know...
Or Sievernaja.
Yes. Yes.
Siever.
Yeah.
Siever. That would be a
Because
cool name.
Fucking the Mexicans don't have anything to do with it.
No.
And it's cuck bullshit.
It's
They're-
retarded.
They're ashamed of how white they are, even though it's obviously one of their greatest attributes.
Oh,
and they're lucky.
Oh, so we made everything.
Yeah.
We made everything great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I said, well, I don't remember if I said this in one of my last videos or not, but my whole deal is like the animosity for us and the self-hatred of us, or, well, you know, the idiots that have it at least.
Sure. The idiots that have been convinced
and conditioned to have it
conditioned to have it
by a certain goblin tribe. The goblin boys, the little goblins. Little goblins. We're raising the rent. What they fail to say and recognize is that every single culture of all time ever has conquered and enslaved.
Sure. Or they're gone now.
Or they're gone. Yeah. But we also stopped slavery, too.
Right.
You know, and we made... See, the thing is the reason why we're hated is because we did everything that everybody has done, but better than them.
Well, yeah.
And we made everything.
We've done things that nobody ever even thought to do.
Correct.
Or could have never managed.
Right.
And yeah, it's pathetic.
It is.
But it's understandable.
Doodles. Yeah.
It's, you know, I mean, like with their charity, right? We are a very charitable. We're the nicest place, the nicest countries for any other race to live in.
Right.
We're the most hospitable.
Because there's plenty of countries that we couldn't go live in.
Yes.
And there's plenty of countries that don't want anybody but their own native population to live in. And for the countries that do that, I don't get offended.
Sure.
If anything, I respect them more.
Yeah,
I like them
absolutely.
more.
Yeah.
If everybody did that. Because that's the thing, is like, and here's where it's going to get.
Well, it's healthy behavior.
It is healthy
If
behavior.
you want to do the right thing for the people that you love and
Correct.
care about.
Yes.
That's how you behave.
Correct. Absolutely. If you're somebody that's leaving the territory that your ancestors have been on for thousands and thousands of years, in favor for money, and you're gonna move and comforts and things that you could have in your own country. I mean, unless you're an inept, useless fucking moron, and there's plenty of them that are.
Sure.
But
whole nations of them.
yeah, if you're doing that and you're bringing your so-called culture that you love so much and all that as a guest to my ancestors' nations, then that means you don't give a shit about your culture.
Right.
You don't care. And
oh yeah, no. It's just a tool for pity.
yeah.
And
Money and
handouts.
comfort is more important to you than your people. And it's the same for people that also want to fuck outside of their race. They don't give a fuck about their race.
Right.
It's like, oh, I want this because I think this is more beautiful than that which I have in my race. Probably. Most of the time. Maybe not necessarily always, but, you know.
Yeah. I mean, people like strange stuff sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I think the most hilarious fucking thing, the funniest fucking thing to me, is when I hear somebody say, I hate this race or that race, whilst simultaneously being married to the person of that race.
Man, it's pretty funny.
And I've seen it many times.
Sure.
Many times.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's the biggest cope I've ever heard in my life. That's just envy. It's envy and it's pathetic.
Yeah.
It's almost as pathetic as calling yourself a king.
Well, it happens a lot with one race in particular.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, most people marry into a different race because they like it.
Yeah.
Unless there's one direction, one race that people marry because they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And then talk shit of it out of jealousy.
Yep. And envy.
Yes.
Correct.
And it's black people, obviously. That's where all trouble.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to post this one.
Well, we can bleep it or whatever, but
yeah.
Obviously we're marrying all the black women, and then we get mad because we just wish we were all black.
Yeah, we're just jumping on that. Definitely. Definitely.
One race definitely takes better care of animals too. We'll say that.
Yeah. 100%. And nature.
And all of the natural world.
And everything.
Our home.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. That we preserve and protect.
And another race turns it all into concrete and money.
Yeah.
That have an oddly similar complexion to us.
Yeah.
And everything about them fits right in except for the size of their noses.
Right.
And the way they act, think, and speak.
Yeah. Their lack of
empathy,
integrity, and honor, any sense of beauty.
Right.
Is pretty big tell.
Agreed. Good talk.